the ebbs and the flows, like the ocean. The ocean is always having a rhythm and a current. It's always going in and it's always going out, always going in and it's going out. And this creates balance. So to create balance in your life, your emotional sensations and your feeling, your energy is to create that balance within yourself. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Nutrition. I'm your host, Kayla Sirena. And on this podcast, we talk about all things healing and wellness for the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Learn how to love yourself and your life. And while doing so, learn how to manifest an even better one. So today I want to talk about just flow and trust and just being in alignment, being connected to feminine energy, to water. I want to talk a little bit about, my day yesterday and, share some of my life here in Tulum. So, yesterday I taught yoga at one of the hotels on the beach named Ahau, and the ocean was so beautiful. I know I say that all the time, but it is beautiful all the time. And I just love all of the emotions and the changes of the ocean. It really lifts me up and it helps me to look at myself and what I'm going through in that moment, if that makes sense, because everything is a reflection of ourselves. So I always see like, how are the emotions of the ocean today? And how are my emotions today? And how can the water teach me about myself and how to heal? So the water yesterday was so blue. There was literally like no wind at all. It was really, really humid. It's also super humid right now. I'm like covered in sweat, but there was no wind and it was like a lake. And one of my favorite things about the water here at the beach, it gets so clear. And not only was it clear, but it was like multicolored blue. And you can look down the ocean and you see like 4 or 5 different colors of aqua and blue. And oh, it's just so beautiful and so tranquil. And so I laid in the water and I was asking the water to help me. I was meditating in the water. And if some of you guys know, I offer water therapies, a healing therapy that I do here in Tulum. So I'm really connected to the water. I'm always learning about the water and just the beautiful power of the water. And I was feeling, like I wanted to feel the inspiration. I was kind of in my masculine at that moment. I was wanting to be structured and I want to talk about a lot on this podcast is kind of balancing the masculine and feminine because we obviously need both. And I love making lists and being organized and, but I also love to flow. Like I'm a manifesting generator. So if I'm not in my flow or working based off of my sacral, I can feel just not happy and things are not fun and things manifest best for me if I'm feeling good while I'm doing it. So I was laying in the water and I was asking the water to please help me surrender, help me to let go because I was feeling like I want to feel the inspiration. I want to plan my next podcasts and write and because I have a lot of ideas coming through. And I was saying, like, "Hey, I'm ready for the information to come through. Please send it." But I wasn't feeling it. So I was kind of being like, come on, I'm ready. I'm ready to work. And I wasn't receiving any insight. And I laid in the water and I asked the water to help me surrender, help me to let go of the need to control, to plan, and to be able to receive the gift that I was being given in that moment and help me connect to the beauty that was all around me. And I accepted. I took a moment, I accepted, okay, I'm feeling like controlling. I'm feeling, I don't want to say angry, but maybe impatient. I was like, all right, I'm feeling this way. I'm accepting it. I'm praying. I'm requesting. I'm saying, hey, help me here, please. And then I laid in the water and then I started to feel so much gratitude. And I have a gratitude practice. And, when you do the gratitude practice, it helps you to feel gratitude without trying it. That's why I love it so much. But I think the gratitude came through in this moment because I prayed and I also accepted my negative feelings in that moment. And then I realized, like, look where I am, like I had been wanting to live at the beach my whole life. I mean, I wouldn't say I grew up at the beach at all. We went to the beach when I was a child, like over the summer for 1 week. But that was so big for me and it was so much fun for me. So I felt, one of my stories, oh, I grew up at the beach, but I really only spent like a week at the beach each year. But it was so impactful for me. And that's all, I spent my childhood at the beach 1 week, maybe 2 weeks into the year. And then I lived in New York City and all that. And I wasn't really at the beach, but I loved the beach and I always wanted to live at the beach for years. I dreamed of living at the beach in a beach town. And I was like, oh yeah, like, remember that dream you had for so long? Like, look where you are. Like, you're laying in the water, the perfect water. There are barely any waves. So I was just like laying with my face up to the sky and just being held like a baby, like a child of God, like being held in the mother womb arms of the ocean. And I was like, this is my life. I'm teaching yoga and I'm laying in the water and it's so beautiful and peaceful. And I just felt like this is what's in flow. This is what's in the moment right now. This is what I'm being asked to experience right now. So enjoy it, experience it. And, one of the things is like when you live somewhere, you start to take things for granted. And I wouldn't say I've ever taken the beach for granted, even since the 4 years I've lived here now. Every time I see it, I'm like, wow. But recently, because I've been working a lot, I've been focusing so much on work, I've been kind of like, oh, I gotta go home. I don't really have time to go to the beach. And so Saturday, I was giving myself that time and that space to be at the beach. And the water was just telling me that you're here now, so enjoy it. So I started to be able to accept the gift of the present and try to let go and ask for what you want and then wait for the flow to come back. So the flow, and like I was observing the water and letting the water teach me, speak to me, send me wisdom, send me the message. And the flow is like the flow of the ocean, and it's hard to go against the stream. The current was pushing me all the way to one side yesterday, and when you try to go back the other way, it's really, really hard. So I was feeling like the flow of the water is like the flow of life. It's the flow of your manifestations that are on your way to you. And if you try to completely turn the other way, not only are you going to miss out what's for you and what's coming for you, but it's going to be really hard and it's going to just not feel good. So having an intention for what you want, but then letting it go, asking for it, and then letting it go and then waiting, allowing the flow to bring it to you. So if you're against the flow, you'll miss out maybe. And the flow is like, yeah, it's like your manifestation. So it's always bringing you what you want or what you've been putting out there. So try to resist control when you can. You don't have to control everything all the time. You're allowed to be organized. You're allowed to ask to try to be prepared. I mean, I just started, well, I read the 12-week year a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, and I've been implementing this plan with my workflow. It's been helping me so much, but I'm like having this constant battle with like my masculine and feminine sides because I'm so organized and structured, but like there's no possible way I could plan my week and say, Monday, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And Tuesday, I'm going to wake up at this time and do that. Because my mermaid, my watery flow essence within me, she doesn't like that constriction. She doesn't like to be told what to do, when to do it. And this is why I'm an entrepreneur. So, okay, I'm allowed to do this. So, but what's been working is having that masculine structure, that timelines. I still get everything done by the time that I need, and feeling it out for yourself. Like, what do you need? How much time do you need to get this task done? A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? And then you let yourself kind of swim within that space and get it done when you feel. So that's been really working out for me. And, it's kind of that like ask or plan and then surrender and let go and wait for it to come back. So ask for, what you want to change, and usually things will change when the time is right. And also, Tulum is it's actually a lot like Burning Man. I mentioned that before, but if you've been to Burning Man, I don't know how it is now. I haven't been in a few years. I know it's changing like every year and whatever. But Burning Man has such powerful manifestation energy. So they call it Playa Provide. So when you go to Burning Man, you'll just be like, I want like a purple like dragon art car to drive by. And then you look to the right and there's like a purple dragon art car. It's like so crazy and specific and amazing. That's such a random example, but you can manifest really well there. And especially people, you can just think for a moment, I want to see my friend Ryan. And then you look over and Ryan's right there. It's so crazy. So Tulum has a lot of this energy as well. And there's also a lot of burners here as well that have kind of made Tulum to what it is today. So, I live pretty far from Tulum. I live like half an hour driving, maybe 45 minutes to the beach. And so I live in like another little town, fully remote in nature and secluded. And as you see, it's super quiet. And I live really close to a lagoon. That's where I do my therapy. So whenever I go to town to teach my classes and give my water therapy sessions and somatic healing and stuff, it's like a whole adventure because I'm going back into the vortex of Tulum. And I always expect magical things to happen. First of all, this is a belief, this is a mindset, and it's a belief that I didn't really even choose to believe. It's just my reality, and it's real. And every time I go to Tulum, really fun and cool things happen, and I just feel like I wait for surprises and things like that. So on Thursday last week, I teach a water therapy class at this beautiful hotel on the beach called Nomade. And there's always people that come to my class. We're in low season right now. So usually there's like anywhere from like 6 to 12 people. And today there was like nobody at all. And I waited for like 20 minutes or so. And I was just kind of thinking, like, okay, universe, what is it? What do you have in store for me? What is the purpose of this? Where do I go from here? Just kind of like having fun with the moment. And then this beautiful couple walks up, and they're so they're beautiful, like everything about them, their energy. And have you ever met somebody? I'm sure you have. Again, this is making me think of Burning Man. There's so many people like this at Burning Man. Everybody's in their highest energy and power and beauty and love. And so have you ever met people that are such a high frequency and so unique and beautiful and inspiring to you, whatever, that you kind of change your energy when you see them? So it was like this adorable couple. It was like a Russian woman and an Italian man. They were a couple, and they've been married for 16 years, and they were so in love and so beautiful and kind and loving. And people judge when you first meet somebody. It's normal. People make snap judgments. But whatever it is in that moment, I felt, ooh, this is why I came to Tulum today, to receive this activation of this experience with these people, especially with the water sessions. They're so powerful and on a whole nother level, healing wise, that there's just always something divinely guided and organized by all of this. So we went into the water, we went into the ocean that day, and the ocean was again like really perfect for the water therapy. And I was showing them how to do the therapy on each other, which is such an intimate practice. But they were so in love, and they'd been married for 17 years, and they have two kids that are like 3 and 11, I think. And it was so sweet because so the woman received first, and she was this beautiful Russian woman with blonde hair and these big blue eyes and like a big smile, so beautiful. And right before she went under to lay, because you lay submerged, you surrender yourself to the water. Right before she surrendered herself to her husband, they were both speaking like another language, but I could understand it. It was like either Portuguese or Spanish or a mix of the two. And she said something along the lines of, like, I love you, oh, I trust you. And just the way they were looking at each other, I could just feel not only love, but passion and desire and like honeymoon energy, first date energy. And I was just so not shocked, but inspired. I was inspired, and I realized that that was for me, my purpose for being with them that day was to see their love, to see the beauty of their love and how long they've been together, and to add that to my list. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm manifesting, I'm calling in a life partner. And the more specific, the more detailed you can get, the better. And I never would have thought about adding that to my list, like lifelong love and passion and attraction, intimacy, trust, 16, 17 years down the line. So for me, that was like a beautiful thing for me to see. And I added that to my list, of course. So one of the things I just want to share and add to today's topic is, shopping for your manifestations, looking around and seeing all of the fun things that you want, all the beautiful things that you want, because, I could have never known to manifest this or ask for this because I had never seen anything like this. And, my energy was so elevated in their presence and made me feel on track with my alignment, made me feel on track with myself. And, being in alignment is, it's the ebbs of flows of life and getting into that alignment when you feel off and how to do that. So working with that comfortable old self that you want to grow out of and give yourself space to talk to that self and create these practices that I'm always sharing about on my channel of how to move through the old self to the new self. And one of the things is doing your shadow work daily. And shadow work doesn't have to be a dark, negative thing. It can just be connecting with the self, connecting with your emotions, with your feelings. I shared previously about the shadow work journal that's been really amazing and helping me. And I just love it so much. And, mirror work and EFT tapping, which I offer. Morning pages as well are super great for helping you connect to the subconscious, your inner child, your emotions, and hypnosis and inner child healing meditation. So the ebbs and the flows, like the ocean is always having a rhythm and a current. It's always going in and it's always going out, always going in and it's going out. And this creates balance. So to create balance in your life, your emotional sensations and your feeling, your energy is to create that balance within yourself. So instead of doing your inner healing once a week, okay, if that's all you have time with, start with that, but try to build up to it twice a week, 3 times a week. Try to do it every day, even if it's 5 minutes. If you learn how to do tapping, you can tap while you're walking around. Twice a day when I'm walking my dogs, I'm like walking in the neighborhood, like tapping to myself. And it's been just so enlightening and transformative to learn about myself in that way. And mirror work is so, so helpful. I want to share in a moment about some session that I had with mirror work. But what I want to say is the ebbs and flows is ebbs and flows. So it's like the ebb is like kind of like going back, checking in with yourself, giving yourself that space to say, I feel this way about that happened. I feel this way about that. Giving yourself space. And then pushing yourself or letting it come natural. Usually, if you create this rhythm, the flow will start to come. The flow will come without you having to create it or make space for it. But finding things to help yourself get into your flow. So, doing things that you love and learning what you love and kind of giving yourself that moment. Okay, I'm ready to get in my flow now. I'm ready to get in my good energy. And these hypnosis meditations that I offer, it's like an EFT tapping and hypnosis meditation, is absolutely incredible for helping you get into your flow and doing inner child healing work all in one. So basically we do an EFT tapping session together where we go through your belief systems. And then I create like a customized hypnosis meditation that you can do every single day. And we work with the subconscious. So when you give these positive affirmations that are going to be very specific for what you want, your subconscious will take them in instantly. So when we do these affirmations, when we're awake and conscious, they have to get through the conscious mind or the subconscious. They have to get through the conscious mind to get to the subconscious to actually become a belief. And that can take so much longer because the subconscious mind, maybe you guys know this already, is like 93% of how we act and what we do. So if you really want to make changes, you work with the subconscious mind. So mirror work is so, so profound. And if you feel hesitant to doing this, amazing, because then you really, really need it. And I don't mean like amazing, in that way. I mean like this is powerful. This will be really, really powerful for you. And you can start really small. You can start just by looking at yourself in the mirror, and then you can kind of move towards doing some tapping and talking to yourself. So the other day I was connecting with myself in the mirror and I was tapping on something that my inner child was bringing up, and it was so crazy. I was just watching myself in the mirror in my eyes, and I just started to see the energy of my inner child, but in my adult self. I started to see her feelings, and I felt like I really witnessed her through my adult self in that moment, and it was really, really profound. So give that a try if you're interested, or if you want to have a session, we can work together on some somatic exercises as well. And give that space for yourself to talk and learn how to parent yourself so that you can shift your energy back into your vortex. And then connecting to prayer, to a higher power, a higher self, praying to the divine, to God, to nature, to whatever it is that you want to give this prayer to speak to, because you are being listened to, and you have people and energies that care about you and support you. So there's a source behind the cycles and the rhythms of the ocean, and it's always changing and always finding balance. And that same source is also available for you to connect with. And also it's a part of you. We are all connected to the cycles of the sun and the moon, and it affects us whether we're aware of it or not. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in booking a healing session with me, you can do so using the link on my website. I offer somatic release therapy to help work with trauma healing, EFT tapping with a customized hypnosis meditation. And also there's 3 spots available for the feminine embodiment mentorship. You can fill out an application also on my website under the Life That You Love mentorship. This covers everything from Ayurvedic nutrition, somatic healing, trauma release, breath work, manifestation, hypnosis, meditation. And thank you so much for listening. And as always, if you have topics that you want me to cover, you can comment or send me a message on my Instagram or YouTube channel at Kayla Sirena, KaylaSirena. Please like, subscribe, and share this with anyone that you think might find this interesting. And also just